Good evening. After a weekend of shocks and surprises here in Minehead, we're left with four men who have high hopes of winning the 2015 Players' Championship Finals over the next few hours. Only one of them's won this trophy before. Can you guess who it is? Yeah, it's Michael van Gerwen. But the rest of them, he is the man to beat.
Coming to you from Butlins, Minehead!
Hold on to your hearts. The party is starting.
Great start from Suljovic. Hot stuff from AD. That is the way to do it. That's a great checkout.
Oh, yes.
He looks the business.
Brilliant from Adrian Lewis. Clenches his fists in joy. He's into the last four. This is remarkable. This is incredible. Adrian Lewis finishes the job. Daryl Gurney will play Michael van Gerwen in the semi-finals. Quality from van Gerwen. Oh, yes, yes, yes. There it is! Oh! Back of the net!
This is incredible darts of the highest calibre.
Gurney gets the best win of his career. What a performance from the young Irishman. He clinches it.
Well, in a tournament with a history of unexpected winners, the surprise here would be if Suljovic, or especially Daryl Gurney, could join the likes of Kevin Painter and Paul Nicholson on the honours list here. Well, both must get past the former world champion to reach the final, one of them being Adrian Lewis, the other being van Gerwen. That is your semi-final lineup tonight. Well, after those semi-finals, we'll also have the World Youth Final as an added bonus. For darts fans here in Minehead and those of you at home watching on ITV4, Max Hopp plays against Nathan Aspinall to follow the previous winners Keegan Brown and Michael Smith, amongst others. Well, Chris Payson is alongside me. You'd be a little bit surprised if you weren't, quite frankly, but it's a very intriguing lineup that we've got tonight. Probably few people would have picked out those final, well, maybe a couple of the final four, but what do you make of the lineup?
Yeah, possibly Adrian and Michael, but yeah, the surprise packages have been Mensah, who's been threatening to go deep in every tournament that he's featured in this season. And Daryl's been a bit of a slow burner. We've expected much. He's a good floor player, plenty of experience on the floor. So it's a surprise package rather than a shock. Yeah,
well, Suljovic has had a very good year, as we keep saying. Not a shock that he's here particularly. It's his second semi-final on TV this year, following up his antics in Dublin. He lost then to Thornton, who went on to win it. How do you see the match with AD Lewis, bearing in mind that Suljovic can put players off with some of his slow play?
I think Adrian's far too experienced to sort of get involved in any kind of shenanigans. I think he'll just take his time in between visits. And Mensah speeds up as the game goes on. So it's important that Adrian doesn't get frustrated early doors and just allows Mensah to get into his rhythm. And once he's sort of 3, 4, 5 legs into the match, Mensah just quickens up.
Yeah, Suljovic says he doesn't do any of that on purpose. It's just his style. He likes to concentrate. Do you agree with that, or do you think at times he does slow play deliberately?
I think a little bit of it's gamesmanship. It has to be. But also a little bit, he used to have dartitis. And most players don't come back from that, never make semis of big ranking events. So a lot of it, he just likes to settle himself, he likes to throw at his own pace. But I'm sure some of it's, a little bit of gamesmanship, which is, allowed. And it's up to the player not to get involved. We've seen Michael Smith get involved, and it cost him dearly because he ended up, rather than playing the dartboard, he was playing Mensah and playing at Mensah's pace, and then every time he visited, he was too quick. And spoiled his own chances, but I think Adrian's far too experienced.
The second semi-final is Daryl Gurney, ranked 41 in the world from Northern Ireland, against the man ranked #1 in the world, a former world champion. We know all about him, but are you surprised by the confidence that we've seen in interviews and on stage from Daryl Gurney?
No, not at all. He first sort of broke onto the scene 08, 09, played in a couple of BDO World Championships, made the last 16. He only ever loses to quality. And it's very hard to break through now because there is so much talent out there. But he's been one that everybody's more than been aware of. Loads of ability, loads of bottle. He won't be fazed by facing Michael at all. He'll go up there and give it a go. And as we've seen at times, he has a top game. He can finish well under pressure. He hits lots of 180s. A big task, as it is for anybody, never mind Daryl. It'd be a big enough task if Adrian and Michael faced each other in the final. But he's just got to go out there and give it everything, and just fingers crossed, and just hope he plays the game of his life.
Yeah, we shall see. Well, let's get on with the action. That's what it's all about. Let's head down to the stage with John McDonald.
Hello and a very warm welcome. You've joined us live at Butlins, Minehead. The Professional Darts Corporation proudly present the semi-finals of the Cash Converters Players Championship Finals. All coming to you live on ITV Sport, and a very special welcome to the millions of viewers joining us around the world. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to meet the semi-finalists. Firstly, would you please welcome the gentle Mensah Suljovic. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here he is, the two-time back-to-back champion of the world jackpot, Adrian
Of 21 legs now, so the first to 11 settling into the commentary box for us are Alan Warren-a-Little and Stuart Pike.
An intriguing semi-final lineup to come. Michael van Gerwen, the hot favourite against Daryl Gurney, the outsider. I'm not sure you could really ever describe Mensah Suljovic as an outsider in any tournament now. The record that he's had this year, especially in TV events. He has had a terrific weekend here in Minehead. Likes this stage, reached the quarter-final of the UK Open on this stage back in March. But Adrian Lewis, vastly experienced, and the smart money would be on Lewis to go through to the final, but the way that Suljovic has played over the last couple of days, you would never write him off.
Yeah, it's not just the way he's played, it's the players that he's beaten. He's beaten some quality players to get here to this semi-final. Ian White, as you mentioned, Michael Smith and Mervyn King, three players who are class acts of their own. So it just shows you how well he has played. The flamboyant and high-scoring Lewis against the controlled and flowing Austrian Suljovic.
Well, Lewis will be used to the pace of the game. He has all the experience. The head-to-head suggests that he has no problem against Suljovic. 4-1 in his favour. But what a remarkable year it's been for the Austrian. Is it going to get just that little bit better in the next hour?
Well, he's certainly very confident when you speak to him in the back room. Practicing well, wandering around, smile on his face. Looking forward to the proceedings, almost as if there's no pressure on him. Probably a little bit more on Adrian for the simple fact that it's expected from a player of his calibre.
Well, the only thing I would add to that is that Suljovic hasn't actually been put under an awful lot of pressure so far in this tournament. Those victories, 6-1, 10-3 and 10-6, so let's see how he responds if he's put under pressure by Adrian Lewis here.
Well, that's right, absolutely, but he hasn't allowed any pressure to be put on him by virtue of his performances. And most impressive, more than anything, is taking out shots, 80-odd, 90-odd, in the low hundreds, a couple of big finishes, when his opponent has been on a finish, and he's done it with ease.
Let's see how he deals with Lewis. 18 months ago on this stage, quarter-finals of the UK Open, Sunday, last day of the tournament. Lewis trounced Suljovic 10-3 on his way to winning the title. That was back in March 2014. But I think absolutely fair to say that Suljovic is a a different player and a better player than he was 18 months ago.
Well, 3 steady tons from Lewis, 2 tons with a nice 140 for Suljovic. Treble 17, Bull, is he going to go for it? He looks like he is. Well, he didn't have to, but it just shows the confidence of the man.
I don't have a problem with that, Alan, with Lewis back on 201. Why not try and win the first leg with a Bull finish? But
120.
he's under pressure, a little pressure anyway, to take out this 48. Showpiece finish wasn't to be. He would settle for a simple finish at double 14.
Well, it's renowned as his favourite. He has missed it a couple of times today, but normally it comes in to help him, but not this time.
78.
So Suljovic was in command of the leg, and Lewis has 2 darts at double, and he only needs the 1. Jackpot takes the first leg. It's 1-0.
And that all augurs well for Adrian Lewis, who in his first 2 games was checking out at over 50%, but he found it a real struggle against Simon Whitlock, his finishing. 10 out of 34,
121.
which was by his high standards poor, but he was still far too good, and 110.7 his scoring was exceptional. But if Lewis is on with his finishing, Suljovic will find it tough, that's for sure.
85.
Well, you can sometimes get away with it a little bit if you are ahead. It's when you're behind you can't afford to do stats on the double, as you've mentioned, Stuart.
60.
But he never let his opponent get too close. As Suljovic has just been doing his own thing, his own pace, scoring pretty well. He's in a happy place.
It's a darting cliche, but it's true. Suljovic plays the board, and increasingly
60.
over the last 12 months it has become very effective, and for me there's little doubt that over the next 12 months he will be a top 16 player.
Well, he's certainly had a good year. How can he end it?
45.
The prize money alone, Alan, approaching £140,000. That's just in prize money alone, and don't forget he doesn't play every single tournament. Just goes to show what of a good year he's had.
85.
Quarter-finals of the UK Open, quarter-finals of the World Match Play, semi-finals at the World Grand Prix in Dublin, semi-finals again here. That is consistency on the big TV stage.
Well, it's with darts like these as well. If he can fill this in, his first maximum gives him a great opportunity to bite straight back. He missed double 14 in that first leg. It's a whole throw. There's 51 left here after that maximum
51.
to break straight back.
Has choices. Double 16 is the double of choice. Lewis is waiting.
19.
Well, in the last leg, Lewis took out 78 after Suljovic missed 2 darts at double.
Well, this is normally where Adrian Lewis can jump in, and he's done exactly the same as he did in the first leg. Suljovic missed the ball for a 161, came back, had 2 more darts at the double. Lewis stepped in with a 78 finish. That one there, all and sundry, looked like Suljovic had done the hard work,
92.
hit the maximum, had 2 darts at double 16, missed it, and Lewis stepped in with another 2 darter, clean as a whistle.
123.
78, 75, 2 out of 2, 100 average. Job's a good one for Adrian Lewis. And for Mensur, bit of a problem early doors
60.
with those 5 missed darts at double. Lewis route to the semi-final. John Henderson 6-3, Alan Norris 10-3, Simon Whitlock 10-7. I remember that day when he won the UK Open here last year. He walloped Terry Jenkins in the final, didn't he? But you just got the feeling all day that Adrian Lewis was the man, and so it proved to be. Let's see if that's the case here.
Yeah, he's used to these formats when they play 2 or 3 rounds in one day. Obviously that UK Open was similar to this one. Well, there's the fly on double 18, if you can see it. Put him off slightly. Keeps appearing. As do the fancy dress brigade.
Lewis, of course, as well, won the European Championship. Similar format.
100.
Yeah, and it's interesting he mentioned earlier on about tidying up on his doubles. 2 out of 2 so far.
140.
And again, pressure on Mitchell Suljovic. That's what I was talking about before. First time he's really been under a bit of pressure. And again, not able to come up with any answers. Well, this would be for another break of throw.
Yeah, even when you're 2-0 ahead, you've got to keep your composure.
A long way off, wasn't it? That wasn't. 3-0 Adrian Lewis. Now, let's see how Suljovic responds.
Adrian to throw first. Game on.
I have to say, from Lewis's point of view, it's been pretty solid, but his finishing has been impeccable. If he can score better, it really is bad news for Suljovic. He doesn't want to be going to that break too far behind. Plays the mind games with you. He's missed starts to the double. He knows he should have had at least 1 leg, maybe 2.
Well, at the moment, Suljovic being totally outplayed. Still to come, Michael van Gerwen against Daryl Gurney, who's bidding to cause one of the biggest upsets for many a year
60
in the semi-finals. We shall see.
Yeah, he's given himself a good chance. This first semi-final, Daryl. He's played pretty well up to now.
100.
And then the World Youth Championship final between Max Hopp of Germany and England's Nathan Aspinall, before the big final to discover who will be crowned the Players' Champion of 2015. Will the trend continue? Last 3 years, the winner of this event has gone on to win the World Championship 60 at the Alexandra Palace. Taylor, Van Gerwen, Gary Anderson.
Yeah, only 60 there from Lewis, but no drama yet. Suljovic cannot leave a finish.
99, Adrian, you record 147.
Oh, 147, good if you've got a snooker cue in your hand. But even better if you could do treble 17 and double 18. What a great setup from Jackpot. Double 8 left.
Well, first time he's been under pressure in the event, Mitchell Suljovic. Not been able to respond, and Adrian Lewis is punishing him. 4-0 to Lewis. At the moment, total control.
Well, strangely enough, they've both thrown 5 darts at the double. Suljovic hasn't hit any. Adrian's hit 4. There you can see 4 out of 5, none out of 5. And that's why we have that scoreline. Could have been different. Suljovic has had good starts in all his other games. Could have had a good one here.
85.
But it's gone against him so far. Looking to the heavens for inspiration.
Well, if Lewis breaks here for a third break and for 5-0, I have to say I can't see Suljovic coming back from that. A lot of darts still to be thrown, I know, but 3 breaks of throw and a 5-0 scoreline.
Well, it's not just that, it's the situation he's in. Semi-final, big TV event, big crowd, playing a player that's playing pretty well, averaging 100. You're not going to get many opportunities. He hasn't taken the one so far, so you're asking him to do something he hasn't yet done. It's always possible. Big effort needed here.
Yeah, but whatever, it's been a remarkable year. Whatever way you put it, 2 quarterfinals and 2 semi-finals in TV majors. A lot of players
60
further up
the
the ladder in terms of world rankings who'd settle for that.
Sure he would. Well, set up now. Treble 19. That's okay. No drama yet. 54 when he comes back. If Suljovic cannot take out the 145, he's had some good finishes this weekend. Hasn't yet got anywhere near that in this match.
65.
54 for Lewis for 5-0.
And total control. Big dart for him, he knows it. Oh, what a chance. What a chance he just had to go 5-0 up. Is this the opening? It's only a hold of throw, but just to get a leg on the board.
Well, it gives him something to chew on, doesn't it, during the break, because he could have been 5-0 down.
Well, that should be a great guide for the Austrian.
70.
Well,
harder to hit when you're 4-0 down.
Looks like 1-2-2. Yep, it is 5-0. Suljovic has had chances to win 3 of the 5 legs. He's missed 7 darts, then a double. Adrian Lewis is already 5-0 in front. Total domination. Lewis, it appears, is heading to the final. We shall see. Moment, missing 7 darts at double, and every time he misses he's punished. First to 11 to go through to play either Michael van Gerwen or Daryl Gurney in the final, but you have to say Lewis has looked very, very comfortable from the first dart.
Yeah, he's looked pretty solid on the scoring, not hit the heights that maybe he's sometimes used to, but it's his finishing that's put him in this position. Suljovic has had a couple of chances and not taken them. And then, since the first couple of legs, hasn't really been in the match.
Yeah, missed darts to win both the opening legs. Key checkouts of 78 and 75. 2 dart finishes from Adrian Lewis, and that really has set the pattern.
Well, sloppy 3 darts from Adrian. Doesn't want to be too sloppy. Because if Suljovic does try and fight his way back into this match, which he's certainly capable of, he may start slowing him down a bit,
I think he will.
Concentrating a little bit more. All of a sudden things start getting on top of him.
85.
So he's got to continue.
Let's see how quick Mensur is to throw here.
Oh yeah, starting to slow down a little bit.
Yeah, noticeably.
Oh, I don't suppose you can blame him, because he's 5-0 down and things are going against him. He's trying something a little bit different, just to change the process of the game.
60.
And Adrian's thinking he's 5-0 up. Just try and keep going, keep plodding away, take it leg by leg. No sloppy missing.
100.
Good last one. He's not having to do too dramatic of a score, Lewis, to be in front in most of these legs.
Well, it was on that occasion a full 15 seconds between the end of Lewis's last dart and the throwing of Suljovic's first dart, as Lewis looks for tops to make it 6-0. Yep, 6-0 it is, and whatever Mensur is going to try, it isn't working at the moment.
No, because Adrian Lewis is doing exactly the right thing. He has been criticised in the past for having sloppy moments. He's keeping his focus and concentration despite being 6-0 ahead.
It was interesting. Ian White in the interview after he lost said it. You know, it's difficult. It's like throwing your first 3 darts every time.
45.
With Mensur It's not Mensah's problem if his opponents can't get to grips with the pace of the game, is it? That's better.
Is the light at the end of the tunnel for the Austrian?
Maybe a glint.
100.
Well, he has to get that first leg on the board.
Well, here we go. That's interesting.
Possible.
He's hit the 180 and he was
speed it up.
Yeah, he was right back at the hockey, ready to throw as Adrian Lewis was walking past. So it has been noticeable in the last couple of legs.
41.
And then he hits 41.
Yep.
It won't surprise me if he slowed down with the next one. He's playing mind games with himself on occasions.
95.
And look, he's just taking his time. He's doing it again. Nothing wrong with that. Just wants to get this first leg on the board. That's a good one.
That was 11 seconds between Lewis's last dart and Mensah's first.
Well, that's a bad lie for Adrian. Can he sneak it to the left? He can. Great second dart.
100.
He's left to finish, but maybe not.
120.
On
He
this
would have
occasion,
wanted.
no mucking around. Straight to throw. Hoping to win his first leg.
60.
Only 60. A shake of the head. It's not happening for him, but he's got a good opportunity if Lewis doesn't take out this big 161, which he isn't going to.
99. Mensah, you require 60.
Well, we're going to get 2 more chances. So far, 7 missed darts at double. Can he win his first leg of the semi-final?
40.
Well, I think, in a way, he talked himself out of it there, didn't he?
Well, I've said it so many times, it's so hard to hit when you're 6-0 down. For Adrian, it's like he's going down the high street shopping.
Adrian to throw first. Game on.
Well, I think it's fair to say that nothing that Mensah is trying is working.
100.
It'd just be better served now to get on with it.
Well, Adrian's not completely happy. He's obviously very happy with the scoreline, but he knows he hasn't played his best, but he's not had to. But as soon as he gets a poke at the double, that's when his eyes open and he knows he has to hit it, and he does.
64% on the doubles.
Well, that's the mark of a champion.
Yep.
That's why he's won so many events. There you see. 9 out of 9, 7 out of 11. Stats don't lie, Stu. Only occasionally.
But Lewis, as he finally hits a first 180, Lewis has just been so comfortable, as I mentioned from the very first leg. He just looked very at ease and happy, and when Mensah's tried 1 or 2 things to change the rhythm, it hasn't mattered, and now he's looking at tops for 8-0.
105.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Suljovic because he hasn't done anything like he has done in his previous 3 matches in any way, shape or form. His finishing, his composure,
You require 20.
his scoring, none of the ingredients have been there. Adrian Lewis just keeps getting better and better.
Well, for Suljovic now, you just play a bit with the shackles off, don't you? A bit of freedom and see what happens.
40.
Against a player of Lewis's calibre and quality, in the way that Lewis is playing, you just simply can't see
41.
Suljovic coming back.
Well, this is a lesson for anybody who complains about playing Suljovic. What you have to do, just play your own game. Don't worry about what he's doing. And that's exactly what Adrian's done. He's just kept in control of his own emotions and his own game. Looking for another. Well, finger to the crowd, tells them what he's hit.
Well, let's see if
100.
Lewis can be ruthless. He'll be looking and eyeing up the whitewash, won't he? He would love to win this 11-0.
Absolutely. Well, he's looking for back-to-back. Back-to-back it is! Finger in the air this time. 2 180s, leaves a ton. Looking at 9-0. Complete demolition of the Austrian.
60, Adrian, you require 100.
40 odd was his first 3 darts, and now he's on for an 11 darter. Double 10, he's hit this a couple of times already. Oh, well, 2 darts missed.
96.
Can he get his first leg on the board? Oh, he's looking treble 16 for his favourite double 14. Whoa, yes! He gives it with the big Austrian smile. Adrian enjoying that one as well. That can happen as well. I mean, 8-0 up was, well, almost a whitewash. But Suljovic gets his first leg on the board.
We can't afford to lose concentration, Adrian Lewis.
78.
As I mentioned, ruthless is the word from here. Can't win 11-0. Try and win 11-1, but back-to-back 180s. And it looked like an 11 darter, didn't it? But Lewis missing 2 darts for 9-0.
130.
And a spring in the step of the big Austrian.
Yeah, smile back on his face. Adrian back to business.
140.
2 good scoring visits. Well, he's starting to hit the trebles now. Maybe too late, but still good to see.
Well, if he is in a rhythm, it's going to get interrupted by a break. Lewis here, hitting straight back. 4 180s in the last 3 legs for Adrian Lewis.
Well, all of a sudden, the fireworks have been lit and set into the air.
103.
Not playing slowly now, is he, Suljovic? Tops for Lewis. Brilliant. How about that? To hit straight back, and well, I think the look from Suljovic tells you all you need to know. It is game over. Well, it will be if Adrian wins 2 more legs. This is a virtuoso performance from Adrian Lewis. He leads Suljovic 9-1 and he's heading for the Players' Championship final. He hasn't had much to smile about, Mensur, during this semi-final. But he did win a leg, and it did bring a smile from both players. But Adrian Lewis came back straight after to hit a 4th maximum and a 103 checkout, averaging 100, 56% on the doubles. It's a pretty complete performance from Lewis, who is 2 legs away from the final.
Yeah, it's been a completely downhill slope for the Austrian. He's been snowed in for most of the match.
85.
All went wrong after the first 2 legs. Missed his chances, and then Adrian Lewis stepped in with 2 great finishes. And with darts like these, has raced towards the finishing line.
He didn't hit a 180 until the 8th leg. He's hit 5 in the last 4 legs, Lewis.
Well, interestingly, after the first 5 legs, he was only averaging 93. After that session, it was over 100. Now up to 102 and rising.
Rubbish, he says. Perhaps been a little harsh on himself. Michael van Gerwen against Daryl Gurney still to come. In the final of the World Youth Championship, Max Hopp and Nathan Aspinall, first to 6.
Yeah, good to see the youth of tomorrow. Max Hopp, probably a little bit more known than Nathan, played on the TV stage, 2 World Championships. Still only 19, believe it or not, seems to have been around for years. So Nathan will have something to say about that.
85.
Tops for another 11 darter. Yeah, well, 12 will do. It really has been that good, Adrian Lewis. 10-1. And here he is, throwing for a place in the final. Comprehensive as it could possibly be. It really has been an exceptional performance.
Well, he hasn't let up at any point in the match, has he? He got a couple of opportunities very early on and took them. And since then, he's rolled off leg after leg after leg, kept his composure, taking out some good finishing. 5 maximums in the last 5 legs. Could be 6.
140.
Yeah, looking forward to the World Youth Final. Can you believe the first 2 years of the World Youth Final,
100.
the winners were Aaron Monk and James Hubbard, who sort of disappeared a little, haven't they, in recent times. They beat a certain Michael van Gerwen.
Yeah, whatever happened to him?
Not too sure. He lost 2 youth finals, then went away, didn't he? Went somewhere else.
I think you could say he's made up for it.
100.
Just a little.
Well, he won't be going for the 180 this time, because that's what he needs. So big 20,
140.
which would,
This is 161.
unless Mensah can take out the big one. Unless Mensah can hit the ball.
The final hurrah, a little bit too much for us from Suljovic. Lewis, focus, concentration, dart in the double. Fantastic performance from Adrian Lewis, out of the top draw of Tungsten. Lewis is through to the Players' Championship final. It was a rout as he beat Suljovic 11-1, and he will have a great chance of that, there is no doubt. Terrific from Lewis. Coming up, Michael van Gerwen takes on the outsider, Daryl Gurney, in our second semi-final.
The 2-time former world champion Adrian Lewis has crashed his way into the final here in Minehead for the 2nd year in a row. He made pretty light work of the big man from Austria. Suljovic is going home. Well, Suljovic failed to take his chances, quite frankly. He hit just 1 of his 9 darts at a double, averaging 93. He was 8-0 down at one point. It looked as though AD was going to whitewash him at that stage. He hit 11 of his 19 double attempts and will meet either MVG or Daryl Gurney in the final. That semi coming up next. And AD's talking to Ned Boulting now.
He is, Jackie, reflecting on a really fantastic performance. I mean, if you're going to write your dream semi-final situation, regardless of your opponent, it's 11-1 and you get time to recover, isn't it?
That's the thing now, yeah, just relax, get back on the practice board. You know, Mensah's no mug, obviously he's shown now last 6 to 8 months on TV he can do it, so if got there and beat him 11-1, it's a massive scoreline for him, and you know, it's a good confidence boost as well.
Brimful of confidence you must be, because everything seemed to be working out. Your checkout success was good, your average was high, it just looked smooth.
It was smooth. I think, you know, like I said, my finishing there, I think it was the 70, 75 I finished on double 12, and I think what was the other one? Can't remember, it was double 12 again. And he missed a dart first leg, I think it was 2 darts, so kept the pressure on him then, and then it was his game on then.
He's a good lad, isn't he? And he's done himself credit. We've got to know him a little bit over this week, and when he did get his leg, it was a nice little exchange of smiles between the pair.
Even the last leg there, he missed a 161 there. You know, he was a mile off the bullseye, but you know, you tap his hand and you know, just show credit to him, you know, because he is a fantastic player.
Now, many players actually have been disrupted by the Mensah Suljovic, you know, the action, the slowing, it's slow, isn't it? It's deliberate, but in a curious way, AD, it looked like that might be playing to your hands a little bit. It took some of the rush out of your game and you were able to relax into it.
Yeah, I mean, it is all play, any slow play you play, you know, but like I said to Justine Barber, I said, you know, you just do what you want to do. Take no notice of what the commentators or anybody else say to you. You've just got to do your own job. When you're up there, it's your throw, it's your turn. Take your time, and like I say, everybody's got their own style, and that's why I don't mind playing slow players or fast players.
Never listen to the commentators, AD. Never listen to the commentators.
AD,
you're in the final. Well done. We'll see you later.
Cheers, Ned. Mate. Thank you. Cheers.